Hi everyone, my name is East, and today I'm going to show you around Hunza, Pakistan. So I went on this trip in 2016. I'm actually from Pakistan, so I went to school there, I grew up there, my whole family's over there, and I'm currently studying in America as an international student for college. So yeah, that's why it was obviously very easy for me to go up there. However, I had never been when I keep saying up there because Hunza is actually in the northern areas of Pakistan, and it's kind of hard to go up there. The roads aren't very well maintained, so you have to kind of plan that trip with someone who's familiar with the area, and it has to be very planned out, and you have to know exactly what you're doing, where you're going, how long you're staying, things like that. Like a regular vacation, however, it's because there's some things that are, uncertain about that area, you have to kind of really plan it out well. So yeah, I went there with an organization that I was a part of. So it wasn't like a school trip or it wasn't with my family. I actually went there with some people that I didn't know very well. I was part of that organization, and we went there specifically to not build, but create, like, we raised funds and we went there to create a computer lab in a remote area, in some remote schools, because Hunza is kind of a remote area. So the schools that they have over there, they don't really have like IT labs, computer labs, things like that. So we kind of raised funds in order to, you know, create an IT lab in two of the schools over there. So I'll get into that as we go on. But overall, the trip was amazing. As you can see, I started with this picture here because this was one of my favorite pictures that I took. I actually took this picture with my phone, so and it looks perfect to me. This place is called Atabad Lake. So this lake right here, it's called Atabad Lake, and what's cool about this lake is that it's very recent. It was formed because of a landslide that happened. Landslide is when like mountains kind of like just fall, and so it was actually very tragic. And but through the tragedy, through the chaos that happened, this lake emerged, and it's so blue and so perfect, and it was just perfect to look at. So this place here is called Atabad Lake. It's in Hunza. Um, and so this was one of our first nights. Well, not one of our first nights. I think these are two different pictures. I'm not sure if two different nights. However, the hotel that we stayed at, it's called Eagle's Nest Hotel. We At night you could go any time of the day, but at night we would go hiking up on the mountain, which was like we were in mountains areas, so like we would just go hiking up there, and then we would create a bonfire, we would have music, we would take pictures. It was so much fun. And so this picture on the left is of our bonfire night, and we had music and we had people playing guitar, I think. It was just so much fun. And this a picture on the right is with some of my friends. It's right in front of a mountain. I forget the name of its mountain. There were four peaks surrounding us, so exactly like this. And it was just they're so beautiful. Look at these peaks. Were like there was this one, the one behind us, and then we had one on our left, we had one in front of us, and we had one on the right. So we were surrounded by these peaks that were beautiful. And you can see the stars so clearly in this picture. Oh, it was gorgeous. You could see the Milky Way on top. And if you live in a city where I lived in a city, you wouldn't really be able to see the stars very well because of all the pollution, because there's so much going on in a city that it kind of covers the sky. We went to this area, you could see the stars so well. And it was just very pretty. But yeah. Okay, so this one of the days we went and we visited a place called Altit Fort and Baltit Fort. So there were two kind of forts. I don't remember which one we visited. There were two, I remember, and there was like a discussion on which one we should visit, which one's closer to us, which one's better. But I think we ended up visiting Baltut Fort. I'm not sure, but this is we are on top of that fort right here, and so the fort basically was like built in olden times with like where prince and princesses like they would live and like kings and queens, and so forts would they were built to protect them to keep them safe, and so we like went through those forts. I took a lot of those pictures. I couldn't find them anywhere. There were so many, but I don't know where they went. But yeah, did we just like I took pictures of like how they were places of where they ate. This is where they went to the bathroom. This is where they slept. It was just very cool to look at how people in like years, hundreds of years ago used to live. Which was obviously very different from how we live now. So yeah, this picture on top is just of me and my friends. We were like taking one of those pictures where you jump in the air. This guy, oops, this guy on the left is just not having it. Clearly, he's like, I'm not gonna jump with these people. But yeah, this is like on the roof, in front of the fort. So this is like this big long thing, and we were just standing in front of it, goofing around. But yeah, and this picture on the left right here is me in front of a wall of the fort, I guess. And on the right, so this is actually not related to the fort, but I think either this day right after or the next day, I'm not sure. We went to this place where I think it was close to the fort, so it was probably the same day. We went to a place where we saw these handmade carpets being made. So like some people over here, like these workers, they would create carpets by hand, and then they would sell them. And so it was really interesting to see like all of these people sitting around here. We're like of the same group, and then so the people would like they made like those carpets in front of us. They showed us how it's done, and so that was pretty cool to look at because I've never we obviously all have like some of us have carpets in our homes, but we never really think about what how much work goes on behind them. And now I think a lot of them are created through machinery, but it was very fun to see how people by hand create. A lot of work goes into that, so that was fun. And so these are pictures with some of the kids that we took. We went to, like I said, so our main purpose for the trip was to create like IT labs in some schools. So this, for example, this picture on the left is of two girls from the Hunza public school, and so that school that was the main school that we went to build an IT lab in. And then we went there, we introduced ourselves. It was so much fun. We hung out with the kids, and then when they got done with their school, we met them on this waterfall type place. And as you can see, since these people live there, they're so used to like just standing in the middle, like going, they were like fearlessly standing there while we were all given instructions not to go near the water, because we would all like probably trip and like fall. But they, as you can see, like have no worries about it because these people live in that area and they're completely fine with it. And it was super cold as well, so I don't know how they're just fine over there with like just their shirts. But yeah, these two girls are from there. And this picture is kind of from the second school that we went to. It's called Nasser Khusro Academy. And so we took a selfie with these little kids. So these are clearly younger kids, and these are older kids on the left. But yeah, that we did the exact same thing there. And then we kind of went on walks with them. We played around with them, played a lot of games. We played catch with them. So that was fun. And then on the right is a random picture with a little girl. I think we all at one point had lunch with outside with a lot of kids, and also with the teachers, with faculty members. So this little girl, I think, is a child of one of the teachers. And so she just came and randomly sat on my lap. And so I thought she was really cute. So I took a picture with her. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We were all like one big team kind of collaborating to do one thing. And obviously, since there were so many children, so many teachers, it was just as a community, it was so much fun to hang out with them. Um, and so was one of my favorite, but also like least favorite days, because so this right here on the right, you can see this is actually, that's written in Chinese. So Pakistan, where I lived, Pakistan shares a border with China. And so like the literally the peak, the top, the highest point of Pakistan is like where the lowest point of China is. And up and like so we were actually at the highest point of Pakistan right now at the Pakistan and China border. And it's like altitude and like not just like altitude wise, it's so high up there, so you're like on this high mountain, and the oxygen is very low over there. So this on the left, this picture on the left is clearly I'm smiling, so I was fine. But I remember we were like in the van as we went up there. It was like a 4 hour ride from where we were, I think. So our like the people that were with us, our supervisors, they were like, do not fall asleep, because if you fall asleep and you pass out, like we won't know if you've passed out or not. They were constantly telling us don't fall asleep on the ride up there, and so we were trying very hard not to fall asleep. And then they gave us all these instructions. They were like, if you get off the van and if you feel dizzy or whatever, it's because there's little oxygen up there. And so you know, just let us know. And they had these oxygen tanks and stuff if we needed them. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't think that's gonna happen. And the second I stepped foot off of the van, I like fell to the ground. I was so dizzy. I couldn't like see straight. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what is happening?" And so it turns out it was because of the lack of oxygen. And I really like then I got hooked up to these oxygen tanks, and I had to like take a breath. I had to like stay there for a while. It was very embarrassing, but it was also very funny. My friends were making fun of me, and so a friend of mine took this picture of me like completely like dazed with some oxygen. But yeah, and then I got off, and we went and we took a picture. That's me on the right at the very end of that picture. And this is just a picture that I took of the border without us standing there. And yeah, we took a group picture. We took like some pictures here and there. The peaks all around us were snow capped mountain peaks. I wish I included a picture here, but I don't know why I didn't. And it was very nice to see. It was very fun. However, it was very cold, and it was also very I honestly I just don't remember much from this part of the trip. That's why it wasn't my favorite, just because I think it would have been. It just I don't remember much because I was so hazy. I had like this extra oxygen in me, and then I also had a lack of oxygen. The more you stayed up there, like the more oxygen I at least felt like I was losing, and so it was just harder to walk and like to like concentrate. Um, and it wasn't just me, a lot of other people were having that issue as well. So we stayed there for like 10-15 minutes, and then we just kind of we drove all the way up there, stayed there for 10-15 minutes, took some pictures, and then went right back. So it wasn't the best like climactic moment of the whole trip. However, it was great to be up there and have that picture up there, just because I have that memory for it. I can say I've been to the top of Pakistan, which a lot of people from Pakistan can't say. So yeah. And this is just a picture with some of my friends. I thought it was very funny to include these pictures. These are random days. Here we're posing in front of some mountain peaks and wearing all the same shirt of the organization we were part of. Here we're like standing. Literally, this is like we were on a rock on a mountain, and we were all like together just hanging out. And then there was like this path that led to this giant rock in the middle, and below it was nothing. So like if you fell from there, you're gone. But so like my friends were like, let's go take a picture over there. And I'm not a big adrenaline junkie, but I don't know what got into me, and I was like, okay, let's go take a picture. And so we went on that path. We took a picture. We did the dab, and which was very famous back in the day. I don't know if people still do it, but we did a dab, and then we came back, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. Nobody has to know about that. And then this picture is like a friend of mine was just we were all just picking on him throughout the trip. He would like say things, and we would just kind of like in a fun way we would kind of bully him and tell him like he's being weird and he's being silly. So we would be like at one point we didn't give him a seat in the van, and he had to like sit on the floor, and then we put all our bags on him. I thought this was a fun picture to include up here to show all the memories that I made on that trip with all these people. And this is, I think, towards the end of the trip, we went fishing. We all actually got our fishing licenses. I had never fished up until that point, and I've also never gone fishing afterwards after this day. So that fishing license I think is probably expired that I got. But yeah, we all went fishing. We got trained on how to fish. I didn't catch anything. I don't remember anyone else catching anything either. But we did sure get some like nice aesthetic pictures. And this is me crossing like a very cold river with some people. You can see everyone's getting ready to cross this river and go to this other side, which was the only way to go. And like I remember it was just, I remember the feeling. It was super cold, and my feet were like touching these rocks. It was super slippery, so we all had to like hold hands. It was a lot of fun, clearly, but it was very cold. I don't know if I would do it again, but in the moment it was so much fun. Um, and yeah, I'm just gonna end it on this picture right here, which I also took with my phone. Great photography skills. But no, it looked beautiful. This is the place where we went fishing. And it truly was. I wish I could include more. I made a lot of time-lapse videos. I made everything. I can't include them here, but because I wanted it to be all pictures. But just it was just mesmerizing looking at everything, and obviously the trip with my friends, with everyone, it was a great trip overall, and I would do it all over again if I could. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed me talking about my trip to Hunza. You can look into it more if you're interested. It's a very nice place. And yeah, I'll see you all next time.